better backdrop to celebrate Black history than a stop right here at the Apex Museum? Thanks so much for joining us. For Fox 5's Black History Month special, I'm Eric Perry.
And I'm Alex Whittler. APEX stands for African American Panoramic Experience. For the next half hour, we'll take you around the oldest Black History Museum in Atlanta with the hopes of leaving you informed and inspired.
It's amazing to think that someone who came from Putnam County, Eatonton, Georgia, and the daughter of sharecroppers will grow up to be world-renowned.
We'll take you to the small town of Eatonton, where the creator behind a beloved big screen classic got her roots. Plus,
they don't believe this has ever been done in human history.
An opportunity to do the right thing.
I still see Black men seen being shot, Black bodies lying in the street.
How people in Metro Atlanta can use DNA to help give Tulsa race massacre victims a proper farewell.
But first, we take an intimate look at the song Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Often referred to as the Black National Anthem, the song instills universal hope, and it has deep ties to one of Atlanta's historically Black schools. Fox 5's Christine Spiro has the story.
Whether the notes are played on the ivories or each word expressed gleefully in song, Lift Every Voice and Sing stands the test of time 123 years after it was written. The anthem continues to capture an essence of whence we have come. And on the campus of Clark Atlanta University, there's an extra sense of pride.
When I hear the song, being a proud alumna of this institution, I say once again, there goes one of ours.
What some might not know is Lift Every Voice and Sing was originally written as a poem by a distinguished alumnus of Clark Atlanta University. James Weldon Johnson graduated in 1894 when it was Atlanta University. Johnson's brother, Jay Rosemond, an honorary graduate of then Atlanta University, composed the music to transform this poem into song. Lift Every Voice was notably performed to honor the 16th President of the United States.
Remember why James Weldon wrote and why his brother put it to music was to celebrate Abraham Lincoln. We're talking about the president who was responsible for the emancipation of the Negro from being enslaved.
To be able to still have respect for those words, you know, now in 2024, thinking way back then in the 1800s or early 1900s, just knowing where our history was at that time, it was actually an honor to even have those type of words brought forth.
Does it bring out a sense of pride for you when you hear the song?
It tells my story.
Line by line, from one stanza to the next, Lift Every Voice reminds us to imagine a world where liberty is attainable, even through the struggles of gaining freedom.
Anytime I get to that part of the song, God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, we weren't even able sometimes to cry out. It also reminds me of those silent tears that when we were working on the plantation, you were not allowed to take grieving breaks. If someone dies that you love, the work of the plantation continues.
Yet those before us never gave up in the pursuit of freedom, as is poetically demonstrated in the song's lyrics. Facing the rising sun, our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Anyone that has struggled can find hope and life and meaning in Lift Every Voice and Sing.
That's just such an iconic song.
Everyone knows the words to it. Christine, thanks so much. Well, more than 100 years ago, a thriving Black community was burned to the ground. Scores of people were never heard from again.
Surviving families moved on and settled in other areas, including Atlanta and North Georgia. Through DNA, possible descendants could help Tulsa, Oklahoma's leaders give massacre victims a proper burial. There's no way to right history's wrongs. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, but it's never too late to do the right thing. At least that's what Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum says is the logic behind his city's DNA project.
This is an opportunity for the families to finally know what happened to their relatives and give them a proper burial.
May 31st, 1921, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a white mob attacked Greenwood, a financially booming and majority black neighborhood.
I still see black men being shot, black bodies lying in the street.
More than 100 years since the deadly destruction, the few remaining survivors still remember the horrors.
We were left with nothing.
Oral history and historic evidence points towards possible grave locations.
For decades, victims' bodies were nameless and hidden, but the city has partnered with forensic scientists to perform a delicate excavation.
They don't believe this has ever been done in human history. We need people to submit DNA to see if we can develop a direct match and hopefully identify the real identities of the remains that we've been found.
Tulsa's team has done half the work, finding surnames of people who might live in the Coweta, Troup, and Atlanta areas. They're Meriwether, Bohannon, Daniel, and Vaughn.
Vaughn is not going to be a surname that the unidentified person had, but people who are related to that burial might currently have that surname.
Allison Waite, the genealogist with the Tulsa DNA Project, says the next intimate task is getting people with those surnames from our area to submit DNA. That means the Tulsa Project will provide a free DNA test to anyone in the Atlanta area with or connections to those last names. And if that is your last name, but you've already taken a DNA test like 23andMe or Ancestry.com, you can help the cause too.
All they need to do is download their DNA data, and then they upload it to GEDmatch, and then it will automatically be compared.
So we scoured the web and white pages for potential links. Hi there, my name's Alex Whittler, and I'm a reporter at Fox 5. Trying to help them sort of connect the dots here. And we found possible matches. You haven't by chance taken one of those tests, have you? Your brother did. Okay, but most were hesitant to go through such a personal journey on camera. Thanks so much, bye-bye. And that's where Tulsa1921DNA.org can help ease concerns. If you have even the slightest inkling you could be a descendant or distant relative, Tulsa's team wants to hear from you. You could be the missing link that helps put a nameless victim to true rest. If you think you could be a match, we'd love to hear from you. We'll get you in touch with the correct team for your free DNA test.
Emery University is in the beginning stages of a project to both recognize the painful part of its past and embrace how the university began. The school will erect twin memorials at its college in Oxford and its university in Atlanta to honor the enslaved people who helped build those campuses. A design firm out of California is working to funnel years' worth of ideas into the memorial's final design. For Oxford College Dean Budia Ahad, the project is about telling an undertold story.
They have never made it into the archive. They've never become part of the official record. So it is really important that we have memorials like this to really honor the legacies of those who built these institutions.
No one knows just yet what the memorials could look like or where exactly they'll be built, but we'll continue following the memorial's progress until they're unveiled to the public.
You've heard of a Grady baby. What about a McLendon baby?
How those born at a time when black families were denied access to health care are preserving a piece of black history. We continue to celebrate Black history. There's a new push to make reparations a reality for Fulton County slave descendants. Part of one group's pitch includes a lesser-known history from Buckhead's Bagley Park.
Today, some of Atlanta's richest homeowners live there, but some black people say that's only possible because their families were forced to move. Fox 5's Joy Dukes reports.
Beyond the charming exterior of a bustling Buckhead community,
it's the land that was my grandparents, and then it was taken from them.
You'll find a grave reminder of what it cost to build one of Atlanta's most affluent areas.
This is where most of the residents of Bagley Park are buried.
Just beneath the soil lie the souls of Black folks.
They may die, but their spirits are still alive.
Spirits unable to rest nearly 80 years after their forced removal from what would later become a playground for the city's wealthy elite.
All of that happened so that they could build a park for the residents of this newly constructed white subdivision.
For Elon Butts Osby, it wasn't the first time her family had their livelihood taken from them in the decades that followed freedom from enslavement.
They were forced out of Forsyth County in 1912 during the racial cleansing, and somewhere between 60 and 84 acres were stolen from my grandfather.
That painful reminder for her family is one of 3 case studies Fulton County's Reparations Task Force is using to justify grounds for compensation to the county's Black residents.
We believe that we are creating the blueprint to make a very strong argument for reparations.
They hope it'll move county leaders to take action. Dr. Karshik Sims Alvarado is the chair of that growing task force. She tells Fox 5 in the 2 years since it was commissioned, they've uncovered a mountain of evidence showing Fulton County benefited from slavery and the disenfranchisement of its Black residents during Jim Crow.
What we found was that Fulton County was complicit in declaring eminent domain on its residents. Some individuals wind up becoming residents in housing projects.
Butts Osby says her grandfather was fortunate enough to purchase land and resettle the family in northwest Atlanta. But the property value there doesn't begin to measure up to that of Bagley Park and what it's worth today.
The real value was shocking.
She says she joined the Reparations Task Force to be a voice for her family and so many others whose spirits are still longing for what they lost.
We see that some of those homes are on average about, according to the tax assessor's office, about $900,000 or more.
People need to pay. The city and the county, they need to pay.
Sims Alvarado says what repayment may look like for the broader population of Black residents is still unclear. She tells Fox 5 this is just the beginning, a seed planted in the fight for fairness, equity, and restoration that is so long overdue. Joy Dukes, Fox 5 News.
The Fulton County Reparations Task Force meets the first Thursday of each month from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Fulton County Government Center. They're encouraging all residents to attend the next meeting, which is March 7th, to share their input.
Later, a historic hospital is at risk of being forgotten for good.
Welcome back. We're now in the Apex Museum's recreation of the Yates and Milton drugstore.
I mean, it's stunning. Back in the early 1900s, Georgia's first Black registered pharmacist established this as a hub for health and wellness.
Just as it's preserved here in this museum, there's an effort to do the same for a hospital that was once one of only 2 in Atlanta that served Black people.
Now, both have now closed. Former Harris Memorial Hospital still stands. It's in the Washington Park neighborhood. But just wait until you hear concerns about the McLendon Hospital. From Fox 5's Denise Dillon.
It's like a part of me was where I first entered the world.
Melanie Michael is proud to be called a McLendon baby. She was born in the McLendon Hospital in the Hunter Hills neighborhood.
It's a piece of history in Atlanta. One of the first and only hospitals that African Americans could use or could go to, you know, during those times.
It means so much, especially to Black people in Atlanta. During a period of time when we did not have access to quality health care, McLendon Hospital was one of those institutions where we could be served.
Stacey D. Stewart has a deep connection to the hospital. She and her sister were born in McLendon. Their father was a physician.
He was on the staff there, and He also delivered many babies there.
Dr. Frederick Earl McLendon opened the hospital in 1946 to serve the African-American community.
Before desegregation, this is a space where black people could come and have medical treatment, from bumps and bruises all the way up to surgery, births. I mean, it really was a multi-purpose facility.
As times changed and medical services became desegregated, McLendon Hospital eventually closed in the 80s. At one point, there was an effort to save the structure, but time and neglect have taken a toll on the building, and that opportunity has passed.
It no longer really has that resonance and that identity.
It is now in private hands. We reached out to the owner to ask what his plans are for the building. We haven't received a response. The goal now for many is to find a way to preserve the memory of McLendon Hospital.
So we have a duty to really protect these things, because that means whoever else comes in here has a guideline of understanding who and what we are as a city and as a culture.
As Melanie Michael watched its decline over the years, she was hurt.
It's just heartbreaking that they did not restore it into something that others could have known about. All the historic things in Atlanta, and you all didn't reserve this part. This was where people's lives began.
Stacey D. Stewart now lives in Washington, D.C., but comes home to Atlanta often. She takes her daughters to the hospital to show them where she was born.
You know, it very much is a part of Atlanta history, and certainly it's an institution that a lot of us felt close to and very fond of, and it's been sad to see it decline.
More than just a medical facility, Stewart says it was a gathering spot for churches and community groups, and is hoping somehow the memory of McLendon Hospital will live on.
It's one of those institutions where the story of Black Atlanta needs to be told, and we need to continue to tell that for generations to come.
The color purple derives from a Georgia peach. Tag along with us to Eatonton to learn more about the author's lesser-known works. Before the Center for Puppetry Arts moved into this Atlanta building, it was the Spring Street School. Some of the first black students integrated it in 1965. Those kids were children of civil rights icons Ralph David Abernathy and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
It means a lot to walk down the hallway of these creaky halls and then to know that all these little children get to play together because we stood up and did our part.
In 1978, Atlanta's Center for Puppetry Arts took over the building. It now serves as an art center. Children can explore the Puppetry Museum downstairs, while the old classrooms upstairs host puppet-making workshops.
It's been a resurgence for Alice Walker. Her Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Color Purple, debuted back in 1982. And now 2 movies and a Broadway show later, we're still learning more about the small town in Georgia that gave the first black woman to earn the Pulitzer Prize for fiction her start.
It's time for you to see the world. There's gonna be some changes made.
Put it on. This ain't me. Hush. We need to look like we belong. Let's see the smile and color. Oh, sweet and loving God.
It's a story that transcends generations, from the 2023 reimagined movie, or if you're a fan of the 1985 classic, Alice Walker planted the seeds for millions of people, men and women, to be inspired.
It's a great story, I think, and it characterizes her devotion to her family, I think.
Chip Bell is a curator at the Georgia's Writers Museum in Eatonton, the town where the 80-year-old was born and raised. The museum is more than just the work of Alice Walker. Bell says it's a journey of her life, from her childhood home towards Chapel AME, where she worshiped as a child, and the nearby cemetery where her parents are buried, to even a street named after her. The essence of Walker is all over the community.
It's amazing to think that someone who came from Putnam County, Eatonton, Georgia, and the daughter of sharecroppers would grow up to be world-renowned.
But for Sandra Parham, it's personal.
I was on this hall and she was on the last hall down there.
Walker is her aunt. We were with her as she walked the halls of Whittler Baker School, where Walker graduated in 1961. Walker was the baby of 8 children, and the knack for reading and writing came early.
Alice was always the smartest person in the class. Even before school, she was reading the Sears Roebuck catalog, any newspaper that she could get her hands on, because there were no books in the home.
Parham says growing up here was not easy. Walker has authored over 50 books. Most people can only name just one.
She didn't feel like she was accepted, by the vast majority. Blacks as well as white, blacks forgot her and didn't know that she had written all these books.
While the school sits preserved,
she autographed this desk, one of the oldest desks that we have here at the school.
Those who live in Eatonton and know the real story of Alice Walker, they hope this will serve as motivation for something greater for future generations.
This is the inspiration for a lot of students. We don't know who the next Alice Walker could be.
Thanks so much for watching. It's been an honor to once again share stories about Atlanta's Black experience.
And a very special thank you to the Apex Museum for providing a space to tell these stories.
And you can catch more in-depth reports on the Fox Local app.
And how you can visit the Apex Museum yourself on our website, fox5atlanta.com. Have a great evening.